Well, how you doing? This is Dr. Ford, and of course, this is Ask Dr. Ford. And a couple of days ago on my Facebook page for the radio program that's on AM 1390 here in Chicago, I asked the Facebook family to help me out with some questions. Here's one that I thought was a really good question that I hear all the time. Sister Bell asked this question. Scripture says it's better to marry than to burn. Please explain this verse. And does this also apply to women? Man, that's a powerful, powerful question. I've heard it asked over and over and over again. So the text is 1 Corinthians 7, and where Paul says, listen, it is better to marry than to burn, but I have to read the context in order for you to understand the content. Listen to this. He says, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. Here's what Paul is saying. Now, some people are saying, what does he mean? Burn in lust or burn in hell? And one of my singles said, what's the difference? Burning in lust is like burning in hell. Well, not quite. But when you look at the context, he says unmarried and widows. Now, if you look at verse 25, he talks about virgins. So there's three categories of individuals in chapter 7. There is the virgins. They've never had sex. So if you've never had it, the assumption is you can't miss what you never had. But this is to widows and unmarried. Now, who are the unmarried? They're different from the virgins, aren't they? Yes, because these are individuals who have either been married and divorced, unmarried, or their husbands have died, widows, or their spouses have died. And so here's what he's saying. He's saying you've had sex before, unmarried, widows, and so that could cause you, to be wanting and wanting and wanting. And if it does, you ought to look toward getting married. Now, the word burn here is not the Greek word that speaks of a burning with literal fire. It's the word that literally speaks of burning with passion. So you see it in Romans chapter 1 when he says that men burned in their passion, doing things that are unseemly. When he says, that you burn in lust, and that's basically what it's talking about. So yes, it's for women also. And he's not giving us a low view of marriage. What he's doing is telling us that we need to look toward getting married rather than burning in lust. And of course, he presupposes that you understand there's a biblical criteria for being married. All right, I hope that helps. Thank you, Sister Bell. God bless you. Maranatha.